Hi guys, this is Rosalie Bartholomew, Director of Elite Pathways. So as many of you may be aware, I recruit for chartered firms in Sydney, different size firms from boutique right up to your top tier, mid-tier firms as well. We specialise in business services accountants and also office support staff. So I wanted to put a little, presentation together for my candidates in regards to growth and moving between firms, etc. So over the years and time again, I do get people asking, I want to work for a top tier firm. How do I get there? What do I do? And also money as a driver as well. Of course, we all work for money at the end of the day, as well as we enjoy what we do, hopefully, as well. But I wanted just to go through this with you quickly. And this is purely based on my experience and what I've seen the larger firms asking for in regards to people's backgrounds. So there's no hard and fast rule, but this is purely based on my experience as well. So going between firms and going from a smaller firm to a larger firm, etc. So first and foremost, the structure of the firms and their client base. I'm talking about tax accounting business services here. So the top tier firms, like your top 10 firms, say, for instance, will have clients with often 50 mil turnover and well above that as well. Sometimes they'll have 50 entities in a group, so that can incorporate trusts and lots of different companies and inter-entity loans, some really complex tax planning as well. Then obviously your mid-tiers here, I've put them into two categories. Below the top 10 is obviously like your top 30 firms, and they're still reasonable in size as well. And they may have clients, still large clients, but probably not as large generally speaking, but they'll have clients of sort of 20 million up to 50 million turnover, but still large groups. Then you've got like your 3 to 5 partner firms, which make up a lot of the industry. That's why I've got each of these boxes are slightly different sizes. Your 3 to 5 partner firms will have groups of sort of 5 mil up to 50 mil. 50 mil will be their largest, whereas a 50 mil turnover of a top 10 firm would be probably pretty common. Then you've got your boutique firms, which is 1 and 2 partner. There's different size boutique firms. So some of the candidates that I talk to from boutique firms will have purely worked mostly on companies and individuals and maybe 3 to 5 entities in a group. When you compare it, say, like a top 10 firm that has sometimes up to 50 entities in a group, and they have to separate those entities into teams, because it's just having one person work on 50 entities they need to segregate it sometimes as well. The other thing also in a boutique firm, you might end up working not only on smaller groups, but you'll be working often on jobs from beginning to end. Whereas your top tier firms, they might end up working on, like your juniors might do the reconciliations and some bookkeeping, and then your intermediates will do work up to trial balance stage, or they might work on smaller groups, and then the seniors will take over from tax planning. As I said, please note that there's no hard and fast rule, because I have come across 1 and 2 partner firms that have excessively large clients, and they specialize in international business, for instance. So this is just generally speaking. So the reason for the arrows here as well is often it's easier to move from a 1 to 2 partner firm up to a 3 to 5 partner firm, and then to your mid-tier firm, or you can even go top 10 after working sort of 3 to 5 partners. It's not as common to go from a 1 or 2 partner firm right up to the top 10. So you can kind of follow those arrows as well. It can actually be fairly like you can go down in size a lot easier, but yeah, I'll discuss that again further as the presentation continues as well. So I'm going to explain the reasons for this as well. So moving between firms. Okay, so the things that you need to consider, and where the hiring managers and the partners are going to be looking at, what's your size clients that you're working on at the moment, and how do they compare to what we work on? Are you working across all companies, partnerships, sole traders, and SMSF? Sorry, the spelling there in SMSF. Well, not perfect, I suppose, but just to highlight that. But yeah, I just wanted to, what's the size of your clients? What type of entities are you working on? How complex are the structures that you're working on as well? And how many entities in a group. So if you're looking to go up in firm, up in size firm, they're going to be having a look at what size are you working on at the moment, what type of work you're doing for your current clients, how does that compare to our clients. So that's why sometimes it's easier to take one step and then another step. So you might end up taking 3 steps in your career to end up at the Big Four if that's your end goal. As I said, there's no hard and fast rule. I keep repeating that. Do you have tax planning experience? Can you demonstrate what value you can actually add to your clients? Have you applied the small business concessions before? And if so, where? And why did you apply them? Have you worked on intercompany loans before, consolidations, more complex work? The top tier firms often do this type of work, the intercompany loans, as I said, the consolidation. So how does your experience compare to what they're looking for? Okay, so I might just go back here as well. So no, ignore that bit, sorry. So ask yourself, why do you want to work for these size firms as well? Is it purely for branding? And is it for branding because you want to go across into commerce? Or are you looking for work-life balance? Are you looking for social aspect of the firm? There's so many different things, and size doesn't to consider when it comes to your career. Size does not always reflect what's important to people. So I really encourage my candidates to do some soul searching here. What's important to you? Do you need flexibility? Do you want to work a couple of days from home? Do you like client contact? Because at an intermediate level, you may not get a lot of client contact in some firms, regardless of size, especially the top tier, because you have mostly the managers might be speaking to the clients directly and the partners. Whereas an intermediate within a smaller firm, they need all hands on deck. So if there's only 5 people in a company and they've got some good clients, they need all hands on deck. So the growth within a small firm can be equally as fast as a boutique, as a large firm, sorry. Having a look at location, size of clients that you enjoy working on, and why. So often that's something else to consider. So obviously in a bigger company, if you're working for a Big Four, as an example, you might end up talking to CFOs of businesses, and that's not their private business, that's their employer. Whereas obviously in a small company, you might end up working with small family business. People do say that that can actually be really enjoyable. It really depends on your personality and where you see yourself fit. So obviously small family businesses, relationships can that you are their trusted advisor as well. Progression within the firm, that's probably something to ask at interview and ask examples as well. So it's not always the size of firm that you're going to get everything that you're looking for. It's really important to have a look at what's important to you, and then from there think about what size. And I say this because time and time again people say to me, I want to work Big Four, I want to work top tier. I'm not actually sure, or candidates can articulate why. They don't articulate why they want to go work for the big companies. And then when I ask them what's important to them and what they enjoy, it can actually be quite different to what the big companies compared to small companies can provide. And this isn't pro or anti big companies compared to small companies. What I'm trying to highlight is that there's positives and negatives of both. So the conclusion, firms, when they're hiring, they look for candidates who can add value to their client base. So they're going to be having a look at how does your current client base compared to their client base. Anyone who wants client contact, I haven't put this in the conclusion, but it's important. Anyone who wants client contact, it's really important to have exceptional communication and presentation. And if you feel that your English isn't perfect, it's something to continually work on. I do know a person who become a partner. I used to work with her 10 years ago. English was a second language, and she's now a partner within a very Australian-based firm. And she's, her English is a second language. She said that she always surrounded herself by people with exceptional English, and her English is fantastic today. So it's generally easier to step up to a firm slightly larger than the one that you're currently working in. It's not a hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, it can be easier. I said down the bottom as well, remember that your career is a journey. So don't go from A to Z, Z to A Doesn't need to be overnight. We're all here, we're all working from the age of 25 to 60, for instance. You don't have to get to your dream job in 2 years. So enjoy the journey. Enjoy what you're doing. Be flexible as well on what you're looking for. So when you're a senior accountant within a small firm and you're on a salary of 90K, if your goal is to go slightly bigger, sometimes you may have to take a slightly step backwards in your career, because now you're 3 to 5 entities that you're working on. The next firm that you want to go work for has 10 entities that you're going to be working on, and some tax planning and some tax areas that you've never worked on before. So you need to be quite flexible in salary. And I suggest this as well, because time and time again, I also continue to talk to people where they say, I want to work for a bigger firm and I want more money. The 2 and 2 don't often go together. If you're currently getting paid market value or market rate for your job, and then you want to go up it as a tier of a firm, it is competitive to get into the larger firms. And a larger firm is not going to pay above market. It's different if you're getting paid well below market, but the top tier firms are not going to pay above market to get you in the door when other people are knocking at their door at the same time. So you need to be really realistic in this situation. What else is there? I think that's probably mostly everything. Going down in firms is generally easier, not always, but yeah, as I said, this is on conclusion, really. The things that I want to highlight is that today, I'm not discussing that one firm is better than another. What I'm trying to say is they both have their pros and cons. And sometimes it comes down to the team that you're working with, the partner that you're working with. The small firms can have large clients, but the majority of them will have smaller clients than your top tier firms. And to always remember to enjoy the journey. We're in this career for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, or until you want a career change. So be patient, enjoy the process, enjoy the ride, and thank you so much for tuning in today. Should you have any questions, definitely reach out. My number is 0402 155 076. My name is Rosalie. I am the director here at Elite Pathways, and you can go onto our website at www.elitepathways.net. Have a great day.